Good afternoon. For today's invocation, it's my honor to give the podium to Pastor Keo Cummings of the Ebony Assembly of Christ Church. Pastor Cummings.
Thank you. Today, as we gather here in this place of excellence, discipline, and opportunity, I invite every young man here today to understand something greater than prestige, achievement, or wealth. Your education is not just preparing you to make a living, but it's preparing you to make a difference. At this time, let us bow our heads and pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life, for the blessing of knowledge, and for the privilege of gathering in this institution dedicated to shaping young minds and future leaders. We thank you for every family represented here, for every teacher, mentor, administrator, and student who walks these halls, carrying both the promise, loyalty, consideration, and responsibility. Lord, these young men have been given access, opportunity, and influence. But remind them today that true greatness is not measured merely by what one possesses, but by what one contributes. Teach them that character matters more than applause, integrity matters more than image, and purpose matters more than popularity. Give them courage to lead when others follow blindly. Give them wisdom to stand for truth when compromise is easy. Give them compassion so that success never hardens their hearts toward those who struggle. May they never become prisoners of comfort or spectators in a broken world. As Angela Davis once said, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. Lord, let these words awaken something powerful in these young men today. Let them become builders of justice, voices of integrity, and examples of honor. Let them challenge ignorance with education, hatred with dignity, and division with wisdom. Raise up leaders in this gathering, leaders in business, leaders in science, government, medicine, faith, community, but above all, raise up good men. Men who know how to lead and serve, men who know how to lift others while climbing themselves. In his precious name, amen.
Now please give your attention to our Glee Club under the direction of Mr. Steve for the singing America the Beautiful. Thank you, and you may be seated. Good afternoon, and welcome to University School's 136th commencement exercises honoring the class of 2026. Gentlemen, you have arrived, but you are not alone, and you have not done it alone. You have been fortunate to have so many supporting you. Your families have always had your back. Today is no different. Before we begin our formal program, therefore, obviously and appropriately dedicated to your reaching this milestone, I ask that you now stand, gentlemen, turn around, and acknowledge the many supporters who have helped you arrive at this day. You may be seated. Now and then and now. A few weeks ago, I noticed something happening here at US, something I had not seen in a very long time. The hack is back. Tossed around circles continuously without using your hands, the hacky sack is again bringing people together. The resurgence is not limited to US. In just the last week, the Boston Globe, the New York Times, the Baltimore Sun, and more have reported on the craze overtaking high schools across America. A teacher in Austin, Texas recalled, "One of the boys was like, 'Where can I get one?' I said, 1992? Your teachers and I here at US have had much the same reaction, admittedly, and have been heartened to see so many of you connecting across classes and interests. Today, I would like to put in a plug for another throwback. Gentlemen, this is called a cassette tape. In the dark ages, when your parents, teachers, and I grew up, purchasing pre-recorded music or recording audio onto a tape yourself might be the only way you could ever listen to a song whenever you wanted. Specifically, this is a mixtape. Think of a Spotify playlist, but harder. Stop, play, record, repeat. Swapping cassettes or vinyl records in and out of a machine, we would spend hours compiling tapes from multiple sources, curating collections of favorite songs or thematically connected songs, very often to share with a friend or a crush. This afternoon, I would like to share some of the tracks of a mixtape for you, the class of 2026. Johnny Be Good, 1958, written and performed by Chuck Berry. Rightly called the father of rock and roll, Berry is responsible for many songs worthy of many playlists. His distinctive musicianship and signature guitar licks helped shape the genre. The song is also on what is probably the greatest mixtape in the galaxy. When NASA launched the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecrafts in 1977, they included a golden record containing images and sound recordings representative of the planet and of humankind, including 90 minutes of classical, sacred, folk, and jazz music. Berry's 2-minute, 3-second song made that cut. Right now, Voyager 1 is still operational and functioning over 25 billion kilometers away from Earth. In Johnny Be Good, Berry sings, "His mother told him someday you will be a man and you will be the leader of a big old band." Gentlemen, Johnny's mother was a prophet. You too will be leaders. Whether performing songs or ensuring engineering marvels, the sky is no limit for you all. Man of the Hour, 2003, by Pearl Jam, written by Eddie Vedder. This song played over the closing credits of the film Big Fish, which coincidentally inspired the musical performed on the US stage this past spring. The doors are open now as the bells are ringing out, because the man of the hour is taking his final bow. Goodbye for now. Your accomplishments have opened more doors for you all than I can count. While you men of the hour are taking your final bows, your first steps beyond US are just beginning. Since Thursday, US has welcomed hundreds of alumni from all over the world back to campus, with graduation decades spanning from the 1940s to the 2020s. Bittersweet though today may feel, no, it is just goodbye for now. Terry's Song, 2007, written and performed by Bruce Springsteen. When they built you, brother, they turned dust into gold. When they built you, brother, they broke the mold. They say you can't take it with you, but I think that they're wrong, because all I know is I woke up this morning and something big was gone. The diversity and dimensionality of every graduate seated here today has inspired us all throughout your years here. This song is on a lesser-known Springsteen album called Magic. That title, too, is fitting. Each of you has brought your own alchemy to US, with your own unique passions, talents, and dreams, not only contributing to this community, but enriching it immeasurably. You take much with you today, and rest assured that come tomorrow morning, something very big indeed, the spirit of the class of 2026, will be gone. We will miss you. Now and Then, 2023, written and performed by the Beatles. 2023, didn't they break up like way before that? And granted, this is neither the most popular nor the most effective song by what may be the greatest band in history. Unlike other popular music sensations, the Beatles went through it all together. They recognized this fact, set their experience apart from other artists, like Elvis Presley's. There were 4 of us, but only one of him, Paul McCartney has said. Added Ringo Starr, we were lucky because it was the 4 of us, and we had each other. Released during your time here at the Upper School, Now and Then reached across the decades, with the band able to come together by integrating recordings from the 1970s, the 1990s, and the 2020s, all thanks to technology pioneered in recent years. In fact, a number of you have grown up alongside one another for longer than the Beatles were bandmates. You have shared in something special, and your bond will remain. Your connection to each other. And breaking the molds. Thank you. It is now my honor to introduce today's visiting speaker, Mayor Justin Bibb. Since taking office as the mayor of Cleveland, Mayor Bibb has driven a results-focused agenda. Now in his second term, Mayor Bibb is advancing the Cleveland era, a focused agenda to revive industrial roots, build safer neighborhoods, and govern with efficiency. Under his leadership, Cleveland has seen significant reductions in violent crime, alongside a more coordinated, community-driven approach to safety. Mayor Bibb is also tackling Cleveland's housing challenges, expanding access, improving quality, and increasing affordability, while advancing long-term reform in public education to better serve students and families. Nationally, he is a leader on public safety and climate action, serving in key roles with organizations focused on reducing gun violence and advancing sustainability. Born and raised on Cleveland's southeast side, Mayor Bibb has held leadership roles across government and the private sector focused on innovation and economic growth. Mayor Bibb is a graduate of American University and holds a dual MBA JD from Case Western Reserve University. Join me in welcoming to the podium Mayor Justin Bibb.
Thank you, Patrick. As an elder millennial, I'm so happy the 90s are making a sexy comeback. One of the best decades of the 20th century. applause as well. Now, I grew up in the Baptist church, and as ministers often say, I'm gonna keep it brief. Usually they're not telling the truth. I'll keep my remarks brief because it's a very warm, sunny summer day in the great city of Cleveland, Ohio. But to the class of 2026, I want to just share two important lessons that I've learned along the way in my journey to become the second youngest mayor in the city of Cleveland's history at 34 years old. The first lesson I want to convey to you is the importance of finding your why. Finding your why. Like many of you, I was a bright-eyed college freshman with a huge array of plans that I had planned for my first year of college at American University. I had this big vision and dream of getting a chief of staff job on Capitol Hill because I thought that as a college freshman, the best way to make an impact, the best way to make a difference was to get that title, that job in our nation's capital. But when I would take the metro to Capitol Hill every day, I would also pass by one of the poorest neighborhoods in D.C., in Anacostia, in the southeast side of Washington, D.C. And I said to myself, how can neighborhoods like this exist that are a stone's throw away from the world's most powerful building in our nation's capital? So through a lot of hard work, I was lucky to get an internship with then Senator Barack Obama when he was a senator before he became president. And as my mom taught me, I showed up in my suit and tie every single day. I was the first one in the office and the last one to leave. And as the internship ends, the senator would gather every congressional intern for pizza in his conference room. We could ask any question, but the only question that was off limits was you couldn't ask him if he was running for president. And so my intern colleagues asked him about foreign policy. They asked him about domestic policy. And when I got my chance to ask the senator my question, I asked him, I said, Mr. Senator, what job or what title do I need to have to make a difference in my hometown of Cleveland one day? And I know all of us have heard many of President Obama's speeches. He has this very professorial way of responding to questions. And he said, Justin. He would say, Justin, your aim should be to do something, not be anything. Do something, not be anything. And in this world today where we are all focused on titles and the accumulation of power as a definition of our self-worth in this country, I think the best thing you can do as incoming college freshmen and as the future leaders of this great country is to use college and use your next chapter to explore the meaning of your life. Find your why. Find that thing that gets you up every single day. Dig down inside of you to find your God-given potential. The second lesson I want to convey to you this afternoon is the importance of showing up. And I know college is going to get very hard. Probably going to party too long some nights. May want to skip that final exam or skip that review course, or even skip coming home to spend time with your family and friends as you go off and explore your next chapter. But for you as the future leaders of this country, you got to keep showing up. And I learned that lesson in the early days of my first campaign for mayor in 2021. You see, when I was running for mayor in 2021, no one knew who the hell Justin Bibb was. And the best way for me to get my name out there, to build my name ID, to talk about this big, bold vision that I had for my hometown was to knock on doors and call activists all across the city. So on one rainy Sunday morning, I called 100 activists across Cleveland. A lot of folks hung up the phone on me, by the way. And I'll never forget, one of my first calls was to Miss Marilyn Burns, who is really the mayor of Ward 6 in Cleveland. And when I called her, she picked up the phone and I laid out my case for why I wanted to be mayor. I said, I'm Justin Bibb, Miss Burns. I got a JD MBA from Case. I've worked in finance in New York. I've worked at Key Bank, and I believe I can be a good leader for our hometown on day one. She quickly said, who are you, and why are you calling me on a Sunday when I got cornbread in the oven? So she hung up the phone on me, and I went about my day. And about 2 hours later, Miss Marilyn Burns called me back. And she said, young man, tell me your name again. I said, I'm Justin Bibb, and I'm running for mayor. And she said, well, I heard all this before, and all y'all politicians show up only on election year. You ask for our vote, and guess what? We don't see you again for another 4 years before it's time for us to vote for you again. What's going to make you different? I said, Ms. Burns, you tell me. What do I need to do to get your support? Well, she said, Mr. Bibb, if you're serious about being my mayor, you better be on my front porch at 7:30 p.m. in the Morris Black Housing Projects in one of the worst parts of the city, and let's see if you're really about your business. Guess where I was that next Thursday? Miss Burns' front porch in the Morris Black Housing Projects. I tell you that story because for you to achieve your potential, showing up is half the battle. And as you experience challenges in this next chapter and beyond, that'll be the key thing that sets you apart. So in closing, I want to leave you with this. Just yesterday, we celebrated having one of the first Navy ships commissioned in Ohio with the USS Cleveland. And we were also celebrating this year the 230th birthday of Cleveland and our nation's 250th birthday. And so this year, I've been thinking a lot about what does America mean in this moment? What do those ideals of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness means when there's so much volatility in our world, so much negativeness in our body politics? It's easy not to have hope for our future. But looking out in this patio, in this grass today, I see over 90 leaders who give me hope as a mayor of this great city. And so I have two asks of you, young men and future leaders. Number one, come back to Cleveland when you finish going to college. Can you do that for me? You can do better than that. Can you do that for me? You hear that? Take notes. But my second ask is of this. For this great experiment that we call America to be real, and for the promise of this nation to endure for another 250 years, each and every one of you have to not only get good jobs and explore your potential, but use the title of citizen as your North Star to make a difference. Congratulations. God bless you all. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Congrats.
Thank you, Mayor Bibb. One of the greatest honors that graduating seniors can bestow upon classmates is to be selected to speak for them today on graduation day to help mark the occasion. We have two speakers so chosen by their classmates. The first is John Griffin Griff Koch. Griff.
When I sat down to write this speech, what I kept thinking about was, if I were in the audience, if I were sitting where you're sitting, what would I want to hear? I'm the same age as everyone else in the grade, graduating from the same class. So I'm not going to stand up here and say how we should go on to live our lives or anything like that. Instead, I just wanted to share a story. It was one of the first warm weeks we'd had in spring, and I was just pulling into school. I was running a little late, so I speed walked in right as the assembly music was hitting the dun, 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 dun part that we hear every morning. I'm not going to say that I'm late a lot, but I had built up the muscle memory to know I had exactly 30 seconds to make it in. I might have had a math quiz or a test, but other than that, I wasn't stressed about much. After assembly, the day was the usual: class, notes, and laughing with my friends. I remember it was my class right before lunch. I looked at the whiteboard and saw that seniors had 27 days of school left. I'd seen that countdown written on the same board every day for I can't even remember how long. So I'm not sure why this was the day that it stuck. But as I looked out the window, it really sank in that our time on campus was coming to an end. I'd looked out the same windows at the same view for 4 years now, watching every season change. And this really would be my last time doing it. But you know what happened next? The bell rang. And just like that, it was lunch, same as always. As I sat there, it was like any other day. But maybe I was a little more aware and present than normal. We had our usual lunch, would you rather question. And I might not remember this day's edition, but one of my favorites from the year was, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? And there is a right answer. I still feel very strongly that it is not a bunch of tiny horses. But pretty soon, it spilled into the tables around us. And like usual, it turned into a heated debate that basically went nowhere. But I guess that wasn't the point. Then we went outside, and the sun hit my face. I was a little late, so there was already a spike ball game happening. And as I walked out, I saw a huge group of seniors watching. It was all different people, a lot that I hadn't really ever seen hang out together, all going crazy for this random game. It wasn't a big moment, and nobody was going to remember that one specific rally, but there was something about it that just made me so grateful. As I kept making my way through the day, this feeling kept following me. It might not have been scheduled or planned, but I was making memories, and there was nowhere I would have rather been. I was on the way to, I think, my 5th class of the day, when I saw that the windows up in the rotunda had been opened up for the first time this year. As the outside air hit me, I looked around to see a group like the one from the spike ball game, but this time it had almost every grade hanging out together. I was with a friend, and we heard an underclassman talking about this old R&B artist that actually was an artist named D'Angelo. And if you know me, you know that I love D'Angelo. And pretty soon, after it turned into a 6-person conversation, I found out that a lot of other people did too. After the conversation ended, I just looked out and thought. First, I honestly just felt really old, telling the younger generation about some old music I liked. But then I thought back to the seniors that had been here when we were freshmen. People like Ben Elliott, my own Sanders prefect who showed me around the school, or Cooper Malacher, who brought the energy to every single student section. To think that while we were still in high school, those guys are getting ready to be seniors in college, that was wild to me. I kept that feeling through the rest of the day too, thinking about the interactions that I'd had with teachers and my classmates over the last 4 years. We grew up together, little by little, and I'm not sure you can say that about many other people. There's something about this place that makes it easy to be yourself around people that you'd never expect. And that's something that our grade has really built. When we first came to high school, most of us were strangers. But after these 4 years going through high school, we were now walking out with friends, mentors, and people that we'll know for the rest of our lives. That's special. Driving home, I was just trying to pretend it was already summer. Sunset, top down, and trying to ignore the 50-degree weather. But as I drove, here's what I kept coming back to. I don't think I'll remember what the would you rather was, the score of the spike ball game, or what I was getting tested on. But I'll remember exactly how that afternoon felt. The inside jokes, the stressful moments, and the big events are going to stick out, and they'll always be what we reach for when we try to tell stories. But it's the feeling of the small moments and the normal days that really shaped our lives here, whether it's the first dinner of being freshmen or the last day of senior year. Again, I'm not going to tell any of you how to live your life. I'm still figuring that out too. But if I could say just one more thing to our class, it's that I hope we all live more days like that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Griff. Next, Anderson Edward Talley.
When someone asks me where I go to school, and I say university school, I'm usually met with one of a few reactions. Sometimes it's excitement, sometimes it's a joke, but most often it's just confusion. University school, what is that? Is that a college? And so I explain with the same default line. It's a small all-boys prep school in Hunting Valley, Ohio. While technically true, this description feels incomplete because after spending 13 years here, I've realized that university school is much harder to explain than that. What makes the US so hard to explain is our culture. It's the way people show up for each other here. I didn't always appreciate that. For a while, I treated school like somewhere where I came to do work and then leave. I kept some distance from the community around me. I viewed my time here as my own individual journey. Looking back, that's probably one of my biggest regrets, because once I stepped into this community, I realized how much it had to offer. This came from realizing how many people here were genuinely invested in me and wanted to help me succeed. Teachers, coaches, classmates, and people I've only interacted with briefly, all putting in their time and effort into my growth. A lot of the most meaningful parts of my experience here happened outside of the classroom. I found fellowship in the Pembroke Society, where I made connections extending far beyond any meeting, where I can pass them in the hall, and even though I don't see them every day, we still have this mutual understanding between us. I found this during my free blocks in the upper commons, sitting down to people I don't normally talk to, and experiencing the constant back and forth of saying I'm gonna lock in and get work done, and then inevitably start talking again. It's in the culture we build here every day. It's the way our whole class supports each other's, not only in moments of success and victories, but also in times of loss. There's something so special about how we stay after games to pick up trash from the bleachers and sing Hail University, win or loss. This year especially, I got to see that from a different perspective. Helping with orientation was one of my favorite experiences I've had in high school. Getting to welcome new students to a place that has meant so much to me made me realize how much of this school is characterized not by a mission statement or the code of conduct, but through the people. With only a few hours to spend with them, I realized that most of everything I want to share with them came back to the same idea. Get involved, talk to people, and show up for this community, because the relationships you build here will end up meaning just as much as anything you learned in the classroom. That is only possible at a place this size with this kind of culture. While the school describes itself as a place where every boy is known and loved, I can attest to this and say confidently that I felt that in all of my 13 years here. I've had teachers who remember details about my life, my family, and my personal interests that I've only mentioned once, in passing, once before. Having teachers ask me for tickets to show up to my dance performances outside of school speaks to their dedication to me, the student and the individual. Teachers who cared about what kind of person I was becoming, and not just whether I'd done the reading. My sponsor has been the biggest supporter since I first walked onto campus. That relationship doesn't happen everywhere, and it's not guaranteed. It takes a place like US to make an intentional effort for these connections. People also hear prep school and think that means it's just preparing us for college. And yes, while the school has absolutely prepared us academically, US has taught us how to speak in front of people, how to lead with grace and humility,
how to take accountability, how to disagree respectfully, and how to contribute to the community instead of just benefiting from one. Sometimes those lessons showed up in ways that seemed small at times. I remember learning how to give a handshake properly when I first came to US. Look them in the eye, grip firmly, and mean it. While the significance was lost on me at the time, I now realize that beyond learning how to give a handshake, the school was teaching us that the way we carry ourselves and treat other people matters. After so many years, these lessons become a part of who we are, how we think and how we lead, and how we treat people when no one's watching. Soon, we'll leave this campus and step into completely new environments with new people, and eventually, someone will ask us where we went to high school. We'll say university school. They'll be confused. We'll explain. And we'll realize that the answer is much bigger than any explanation we usually give. Because the answer isn't in the campus or the credentials. It's in the way we carry ourselves, the standards we hold without having to think about them anymore, the habits that are so deep we've stopped noticing them. And wherever we go next, a part of US will go with us too. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you, Anderson. And now for the announcement of our Graduation Day honors and prizes, the director of the upper school, Mr. Christopher Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. The Jack R. Staples Award is given each year to that member of the graduating class who, in the course of his career in varsity athletics, has distinguished himself through selfless devotion to the best interests of his fellows and his team, and conspicuous dedication to the highest ideals of competitive athletics. The award is voted on by the varsity head coaches and members of the athletic department. This year's recipient earned 4 varsity letters in baseball, 3 in football, and 1 in wrestling. He became known throughout his high school athletic career for his toughness and unwavering commitment to his teammates. Reflecting on his impact within the baseball program, Coach McNerney shared, "From the moment we met him as a freshman, you could quickly tell he had the work ethic of a seasoned upperclassman. Whether during the offseason, at practice, or in competition, he consistently approached every opportunity with determination and a team-first mentality." Coach McNerney also noted, "He is the type of young man every coach wants in his program. He puts his head down, works harder than anyone else, and does whatever the team needs. Throughout his 4 years in the program, his work ethic never wavered. A team captain and a tremendous role model, he consistently showed up every day." Within the football program, Coach Melbasa described him as, quote, "a dependable teammate and standout performer. A 2-year starter at the center, he consistently graded out at the top of the offensive line unit. Whether identifying the defense or helping a teammate, he became a tremendous leader within his position group, and his physical play helped set a tone for the entire team. Throughout his time at university school, he embraced the difficult work that successful programs require and positively impacted those around him through his consistency, humility, and leadership." The 2026 recipient of the Jack R. Staples Award is Caden Zelenek. The James W. Potts Class of 44 Award was donated by the classmates of the late James W. Potts. In 1977, Mrs. J. F. Potts, mother of James, assumed the sponsorship of this award, and a new plaque was placed in the athletic wing of University School's Hunting Valley campus. The award is made on the basis of outstanding sportsmanship, forceful leadership, and athletic ability. This award is voted on by the senior class, head varsity coaches, and members of the athletic department. This year's recipient distinguished himself as one of the finest athletes in Northeast Ohio, earning 2 varsity letters in basketball and 4 in baseball, while establishing himself among the most accomplished baseball players in school history. Reflecting on his career, Coach McNerney shared, he will go down as one of the very best baseball players to ever put on a university school uniform. His accolades on the field speak for themselves, including a long list of awards that established him among the most decorated players in program history. However, Coach McNerney also emphasized that his off-the-field contributions may have been even more impressive. A two-time captain, he consistently demonstrated servant leadership and an unwavering commitment to his teammates. From the moment he stepped on campus, expectations surrounding him were immense. However, the maturity with which he handled that attention spoke volumes about his character. He consistently put the team first and never allowed outside recognition to affect the way he competed or led. Coach McNerney reflected, quote, "I hope future generations of U.S. baseball players carry themselves with the same faith, belief, and competitive spirit in which he did." The 2026 recipient of the James W. Potts Award is Deacon Charles Nelson. The Aurelian Award is given to that member of the senior class who, in the opinion of his classmates, has distinguished himself here through sterling character, high scholarship, and strong leadership. Candidates are nominated by the faculty and selected by a vote of the senior class. This year's honoree is a true Renaissance man. He is a standout scholar who was inducted into the Cum Laude Society for his strong academic performance. He is an accomplished musician who was chosen for the Ohio Music Education Association All-State Jazz Ensemble as one of the only 2 percussionists selected from a pool of more than 1,500 applicants. He is a talented athlete who has led the hockey team to multiple postseason runs and served as the team's captain. And if that was not enough, he is also a driven and creative entrepreneur who has helped run the school's textbook buyback program and launched his own car detailing business. Dedicated and determined, he earns the respect of his teachers, coaches, and peers for the breadth of his talents and for the way he approaches each and every class, practice, or rehearsal. In the words of a teacher, he is a, quote, great student with a unique joie de vivre. He is active, attentive, inquisitive, and relentless in his pursuit of learning new materials. In the word of a peer, what can't this guy do? This year's Aurelian Award goes to Zachary Cimarroni. Congratulations, Zach. The Cadmian Award stands for strong character, superior scholarship, high moral and ethical leadership, and an unusual devotion and loyalty to the school. It is intended to recognize not only scholarship, but also the qualities of loyalty, responsibility, and consideration. The recipient of the Cadmian Award is selected by vote of the sophomore, junior, and senior classes. A creative spirit and a dedicated member of our community, this honoree's influence is felt in just about all areas of school life. Anything seems possible when he is around. He is unafraid to try new experiences publicly, and he inspires others to join in too. He leads class conversations with a genuine joy of learning. He leads a house as senior prefect. He plays piano before the entire school during his senior speech. He is the second diver in more than 30 years to serve as captain of the entire swimming and diving team. He organizes table tennis and spikeball competitions. Approachable and ambitious, not just for himself, but for others too, he elevates, inspires, and enriches every space he joins. As his college counselor reports, quote, "He seems to be everywhere at once, and he is everywhere in the best sense of the word, embodying and amplifying the spirit of our community wherever he goes." This year's Cadmian Award goes to Danny Sullivan.
Now for the presentation of the Alumni Medal, as a member of the class of 1996 and a former member of the University School Board of Trustees, as well as of our University School Alumni Association, Mr. Carl Sjogren. Mr. Sjogren.
The Alumni Medal is awarded to the individual with the highest GPA in the senior class based on grades at the end of their senior year. This year's Alumni Medal honoree is an exceptional scholar whose breadth of curricular interest is matched by the depth and passion he has for each academic subject. A true Renaissance scholar, he is equally talented in all subject areas, earning perfect marks in every class that he has taken in high school. What stands out more than his grades, though, is the way that he approaches learning. He's always striving to dig deeper, to learn more, and to make connections between the subjects he studies. One teacher put it best, saying, "He sets the standard in terms of curiosity, demeanor, and overall excellence in and out of the classroom." He has been recognized as an ISEF finalist, National Merit Finalist, our 2025 Yale University Book Award winner, and earned a Rensselaer Medal. Equally impressive is his dedication to the US community, as he is the president of the Student Investment Committee, on the Lopresti Board, a speech and debate captain, co-head of the Middle Eastern Club, co-head of the US Prep Squad, an Anderson Scholar in Entrepreneurship, and a Davy Fellow in Creative Writing. He is deserving of every superlative used to describe him: brilliant, curious, driven. But perhaps where he is most talented is how emotionally attuned he is to the experiences and feelings of others, and how deeply he cares about them. He is the rare student who is respected and admired by absolutely everyone in his class, said one teacher, while a friend remarked that he holds himself to the highest moral standard and is always there for help when I need him. The 2026 Alumni Medal is awarded to Adonis Wozni.
Now, please once again give your attention to the Glee Club.
The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected. The stone that the builders rejected. The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world.
Rain of rich made me numb to the crowds and suffer through the winter's cold. at hand and made to heed 1,000 falls.
The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected. Stone that the builders rejected. Stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world.
Never can our journey fail. The little child will lead the way, whose eyes are filled with the shining light, to whom the night is bright as day.
Cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected. Stone that the builders rejected. The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The love that rolls the stone away gives us life that we may sing. Grave, where is thy victory? Death, oh death, where is thy sting? Oh, the stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The stone that the builders rejected. The stone that the builders rejected. The stone that the builders rejected became the cornerstone of a whole new world. The cornerstone of a whole new world.
It's now time for the awarding of the diplomas. Joining me to do so are again Director of the Upper School, Mr. Christopher Perry, and Mr. Matthew V. Crawford, University School Class of 1987, Chair of the Board of Directors.
William Arthur Allen. Ethan Daniel Ansevin. George Oliver Atkinson. Carson Philip Tajian Barlow. Crew Edwin Bellin. Congratulations. Ethan Hunter Blout. Nicholas George Bricker. Colin Arthur Broholm. Ian Breuer. Congratulations. Henry Brown. Finley Parker Bryan. Graham Alexander Bryant. James Andrew Bucci. Ethan B. Chen. Charles Robert Christofferson. Zachary Lee Cimarroni. Patrick Raymond Corcoran. Edward Junhao Sui. John Robert Rohan de Cruz. Pierce McLean Erler. Brady Michael Farah. Jackson Richard Farkas. Michael Sean Fiorito. Aiden Quinn Forster. Caleb James Gaither. Matthew McGillivray Gallen. Andrew Porter Garceau. Mario Carlo Gaspar. Joseph William Gilligan. Charles Conrad Gilson. Joseph Allen Gray. Cormac James Haas. Hayden James Halverson. Madden Vale Howard. Ethan Roger Huang. Carl James Husney. Jacob A. Isikoff. Jeffrey Zhang. Bennett Joseph Johnson. Luke Joshi. Aaron Alexander Kim. John Griffin Koch. Emerson Thomas Kraus. Ignatius Anthony Lahora. Carter Christopher Lozier. Andrew David Malbasa. Thomas Benjamin Malbasa. Sahand Maleki. John Paul Malone. Robert Gary Mancuso. Tyler Hollington Mee. Daniel Murphy Miklas. Colin Bueller Milborn. Nicholas Andrew Monahan. Paul Charles Allen Moody. Matteo Marco Morelli. Aditya Nala. Deacon Charles Nelson. Michael Narcissoff. Kingston Alvin Roderick Oliver. Gavin Michael Owens. Carson L. Pantek. Jaden Joseph Paramble. Vishan K. Patel. Sebastian Perez. Daniel Quinn Perkins. Travis Michael Phillips. James Edward Pleasant. Jack Matthew Plessick. Luka Milan Rajenovic. Congratulations. Tejas Neil Rajagopalan. Congratulations. Cameron J. Ryan. Alexander James Schott. Anshul Sharma. Travis Lanson Skinner. Jack Ryan Summers. Brendan R. Sulak. Congratulations. Joseph Daniel Sullivan III. Noah Sokolowski. Chase Yoshia Takaoka. Parker Yoshiro Takaoka. Anderson Edward Talley. Dellen Aubrey Tang. Tyreek Harakim Taylor. John Richard Thornton. Roscoe Tin. Robert Christopher Tomoto, Jr. Nikhil Venkatasan. Adonis Musba Wasni. Carter Evan Webb. Lucas Stefan Weidenbecker. Colin Michael Wright. Andrew Jbarge. Caden J. Zelenek. Jason Yikun Zhao. Michael Jackie Zhu.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, the University School graduated class of 2026. Please be seated for our benediction, again by Pastor Keo Cummings. Pastor Cummings.
Will you bow your heads with me And now unto him who has given you intellect to think, courage to lead, and purpose to serve. May you leave this place not only inspired, but challenged. May your education never outgrow your humanity. May your success never silence your compassion. May your influence become a force for justice, wisdom, and integrity. As you walk into classrooms, boardrooms, communities, and eventually the world, may you remember that leadership is not proven by how many people serve you, but by how many lives are better because of you. Bless this school, bless this vision, bless every student with the discipline in the classroom, humanity and success, strength in adversity, and wisdom beyond their years. And may every young man who leaves this institution leave not only educated, but transformed. The faith to believe that one life lived with purpose can transform generations. Go forth with excellence, go forth with honor, go forth with responsibility. And may the grace of God, the peace of God, and the wisdom of God rest upon you now and always. Lastly, Lord, if you will smile upon Cleveland tonight, the Cavs need a little help. God bless you.
Now I ask you to stand as you are able for the singing of our alma mater, Hail University. Would ask that you please allow the stage party and our graduated class of 2026 members to first recede, and that will conclude our program. Thank you so much for being with us today.